We have a special guest lecturer tonight. He's a co-producer of the show. I think he's so funny and so smart and has some detractors in the audience. I want you to make it really loud for Greg Matthews, everybody.
What's up, everyone? My name is Greg. Dr. Gregory Matthews. I'm sorry. I went to grad school and whatnot. And I'm going to give you. This is like the middle of the show. This is like the halftime. I like to think about it. I'm going to do some. I'm going to give a little talk because I feel like we need education in this world. It's not all fun and jokes and comedy. And so I want to take this opportunity to, give you some real knowledge. That's what I'm here for. I'm a tenured professor. That's really what I should be doing, is giving. And I can hear my coworker laughing at me right now. It's fine. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to talk about today is GANs. And GANs are a little bit outside. My PhD's in statistics, right? And so, not a statistics fan. Wow. And one thing you should know about statisticians is that they get really nervous around computer scientists because they feel like they're doing computer science work, but then the computer scientists are like, no, we have bigger computers and we know things better. But I just want to let you know, I'm flashing my cred. I brought my keg of water bottle, so all you computer scientists, no one's going to know what that is unless they're a computer scientist. That doesn't work with any other audience at all. But I got a keg of water bottle because I won a Kaggle contest once. Look that up, that's true. Is that impressive? One person's like, yeah, okay, all right. So I'm going to talk about GANs, and once again, and I have a PhD, which I'm going to say over and over and over again because it took a long time. I'm going to tell people about it, right? So what is a GAN? What am I talking about? The computer scientist people probably know, and look, I'm so nervous. He's right there. But it doesn't really matter. He's a student. I have tenure. What are they going to do? So what am I nervous about? I don't know. So if I fuck this up, call my dean or whatever and try to get me fired. But they can't fire me. Okay. All right. That's what I do. That's what I do in my classes too. I got a student here who's right over there, and he sees me do that all the time when I screw something up. They're like, "Is the homework due?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever it's due." When I get, you're screwing it up. What are they gonna do? Fire me? All right. Tenure's awesome. So what is a GAN? Speaking of GANs are generative adversarial networks. These things are wild. This blows my mind. Like, this makes me want to be a computer scientist, and in other words, this formula right here. Okay? This is pretty straightforward. See, some people get it, but I'm sure that some people get it, some people do not. And if you don't understand what this slide says, you are dumb. Exactly. I didn't think that would actually work, but it did actually work. And so for the dumb people in the audience, I'm gonna use an analogy to explain GANs to you because you're stupid and you don't have a PhD like me. Okay, whatever. So what's the classic analogy that they use for GANs? What's the classic analogy where they try to come up with an example for GANs? Do you know what it is? Well, yeah, so the art forger is what I'm going with, but more or less the same thing. So the analogy they give is with an art forger. And so you have some art forger, and they're the generator. They're generating fake art, and then there's real art. The discriminator is like a detective, and they're trying to come up with, they're trying to say, well, that's fake art and that's real art, and then they go back and forth with each other and they get better. I think it's kind of a boring example, and I wanted to come up with a better example for the stupid people in the audience. So I was thinking about this. What's a better example? What is something that people fake? Can you yell out things that people fake? Not with me, they don't. I can't believe that worked either. You guys are saying exactly the things I want you to say. So what's something else that people fake all the time? It's still associated with, it's associated mostly with women. Yeah, you're still going to say orgasms because you're sick people. I'm thinking about, of course, Gucci handbags. Because I'm not a sicko like you. So the idea here is that we have some real elements. Those things at the bottom, those are real. They're not Gucci handbags, but they're real handbags. We got some Gucci. I think we got some Prada. Is that Yves Saint Laurent? Is that a little wrong? Is that am I saying it right? So the idea here is that those are the real things. And we have a generator here, and the generator, it starts out as these three adorable little kids, and they're making some stuff, and they're just generating things randomly, right? They're generating, that's a ball of falafel, that's a rubber duck, and that is a croc with a heel, it looks like. And then there's this discriminator, and they're like a detective, and they're like, I know I'm a kid, and the kid is saying, they're basically saying to the kid, can you detect which one of these are handbags? And the kid's like, I'm no expert, but that looks like a ball of falafel to me, and then things get better. And so as this moves on, we go to the next slide. Now it's like an adult generating something, and the adult is now generating things that are like bags, at least, right? So the adult has now figured out, well, I need to generate bags. So the generator's getting a little bit better because it got the information back from the discriminator. So now the generator is generating things, and now these aren't handbags, but they are bags. So the generator's getting a little bit better, and the discriminator, this guy, he is at least an adult. He probably doesn't know fashion very well, but he can at least say, these are handbags. I can tell that that's a plastic bag, and so the discriminator goes back to the generator and says, here's what's real and here's what's not. And then you eventually get so good at this that you have a generator that is someone in a bag factory, and a bag factory, is that what they're called? And they're generating, those things at the top are fake handbags, and we have, our discriminator gets better, and that's Tan France. I'm more of a Jonathan Van Ness kind of person, but whatever. Okay. All right. So what happens is the generator is getting better, right? The generator is actually producing bags, and the discriminator is getting better. And when this goes back and forth, you iterate back and forth between this, like that formula said, right? For the smart people in here. And what happens is you get this, it goes back and forth so well that the generator now, once it gets trained, can generate things that are basically indistinguishable from the true thing that you're trying to make. So the generator, once it's trained, can generate real handbags. Now, handbags is a silly example, right? But what would this look like if you were generating images? All right. So here's some examples of how GANs have worked over time. So the original paper by do you know who wrote it and what year was it? You guys are super nerds. It is Goodfellow 2014. Ian Goodfellow. No one else. Look, regular comedy audience don't know that very specific fact. It's Ian Goodfellow. So in 2014, that was about where GANs could get. So these are training on real faces. That's how good GANs were. And over the course of, this is 4 years, so 2018, you can see how much better they got. Every single person on this slide is a fake person. These are generated based on training a GAN. Wild. And so I found some more examples. This is from a really cool project where when COVID, you guys hear about COVID? You guys hear about this COVID thing? And artists, what they did was they wanted to show people what it was like. Like millions of people were dying from COVID, and so what they did was they took a GAN and they were generating faces they were generating fake faces, but it was like to really humanize the tragedy of COVID, right? And so this person, this is their GitHub account. They did a project called 100,000 Faces, and they just generated all these faces, and you can go look at them, right? And these are all like these aren't real people, right? But they look like real people. This is crazy that we can generate real images like this. I mean, we can generate fake images that are so realistic. I bet you couldn't tell. I bet you can't tell. Wink, wink. I bet you can't tell what's a real face and what's not a real face. That's what we call foreshadowing. You'll see. And who's the real victim here? Who's the real victim here? Stock photo models, right? This is a picture of a bunch of sad-looking stock photo models who have all lost their jobs to GANs. So they're going to need GoFundMes to, I don't know, whatever. Dia does GoFundMes all the time. Thank you. I think that's me. Oh, shameless self-promotion, Dia. I got to do this. You can follow the show on Instagram at Uncontrolled Variables. You can follow us on Twitter. But don't follow us on Twitter. If you're going to do Twitter, go to Mastodon, right? Mastodon is way better. Because Bezos did the whole thing, but did you guys hear the other story about the other billionaire Bezos? About Amazon Prime? Did you hear this? So Amazon Prime, what happened was regulators ruled it was a monopoly, right? And so it had to be broken up. But unfortunately, when regulators went in to break it up, they found they couldn't do it because it was only divisible by one in itself. Dia's going to talk to me right now. He's going to be like, you need to stick to the science. And I understand that, Dia. I'm sorry that I just had to tell that joke. I'm so sorry. There's my Mastodon.
Give it up for Greg Matthews, everybody. Okay, as a group, we're gonna destroy him on Rate My Professor for that last show. I'm gonna give him 0 chilies.